Hi guys, I know I have requests, but someone had requested me do this from the comments of the original song. I'll respond to the person directly. Hold on. If I can just find their name. Her name is their username is Deeksora, and they asked, "How did you learn the lyrics for this?" So, one thing I might tell you, which is why I have the upper hand, I've been singing in Japanese for 8 to 9 years. I can understand a bit of Japanese, very basic Japanese, and I can speak very basic, like I mean, hey, how are you? I'm from, and that's it. And so I kind of have an idea of the pronunciation. I also don't read it in characters. I read it in romaji, which is basically the transliterated. So you have Japanese characters. It's basically written out as if it were letters, but the pronunciation or what it would look like as if written in letters or spoken. That's what romaji is. So I suggest that if you are going to learn any Japanese song and you don't know anything about reading like kanji, katakana, hiragana, furigana, don't don't trouble yourself. Just use romaji. And so I've built a base. I'm not going to teach you the quick way of how I do it, because the quick way would basically mean me ending. I literally just hear the song and I look at the lyrics and I just repeat the lyrics and that's it. I feel like the person that asked this wants a more in-depth answer or an idea of how exactly to learn it. So I'm going to start with the first verse and I'm going to go over it entirely. So I'm going to go very slow. Obviously, if you can't pronounce at all, like, just hear the song until you have an idea of what it sounds like in your head, until you feel like there's perfect pronunciation, and or put the song in a slower pace, like perhaps a 0.5, so that it sounds easier for you to repeat, and therefore when you sing it, it sounds almost immaculate. So I'm going to start really slow. I'm going to say the verse really slow. Watashi wa watashi wa anata wa anata to yube iware. So Japanese people tend to roll their R's and L's, I've noticed, so I've picked up on that. I feel like if you don't know about that, you should know. You should know, at least it's coming from me. I didn't know at first, but you kind of pick up on it when you hear it. Sometimes they don't, some people don't do it as much, but some people when they sing, they do roll their R's and their L's. It's very, like, when you hear a Japanese person speaking in English, one of my Japanese friends had trouble with this. He didn't know the difference between the R and the L, and so he would often confuse the two, which I can understand why. And then you go so na, because it's sonna. If you can hear so na, ki mo suru wa. And then when they say certain words, just hear the music and then you can understand. Gurei, gray, gurei no jaketo ni. Okay, and then I'm going to stop there. So we're going to take it a little bit faster. So you go, instead of me being watashi, you already have an idea of what it sounds like. So you go, watashi wa watashi. Anata wa anata to. And you kind of build up the tempo because you know what the tempo is when she sings. If you pay attention very closely, she goes like at the tempo she's singing. So if you keep note of that, then you're going to be fine when you have to sing the entire song. just keep track of your tempo. And it's very slow. It's not like fast, like those other songs that really make me want to throw up because they're so fast. It's that's a whole other story. And then again with the second phrase, ゆうべ言われた or 言われた、そんな気もするわ。And then グレーのジャケットに. And then we stop there. And so now, after you've mastered these two parts, you would move on to the other one, which means adding on the melody, but not so much, but more so as to hear yourself singing it so you have an idea of what it sounds like while you're doing the tempo and having the background music. So, 私は私、あなたはあなたとゆうべ言われた、そんな気もするわ。グレーのジャケットに. And that's the third phase. The final one would be this. Me just literally just singing the song, because I've already done the first three, which is enunciate it very slowly, then enunciate it but without music, and then enunciate it in a monotone voice with the melody and with the tempo the same as with number 2 and number 1, but number 1 was slower than number 2. Hopefully this makes sense. If and no one understands what I just said throughout this entire video, I can literally just delete this and write down a script and explain even more in detail to something that's more understandable. I'm making this off of a whim. It's not scripted. And so then the final part would be me singing the song. 私は私、あなたはあなたとゆうべ言われた、そんな気もするわ。グレーのジャケットに. And there you have it. That's literally all I've done. But as I've said before, because I've done this so much, it's become very easy for me to do, so I don't have to go through the process of doing those steps. When I was younger, I would literally just repeat the song again and again and again and again and again until I had an idea of what it sounded like, and then I repeated the lyrics and I mimicked. So in this case, your best option is mimicry, and if not that, mimicry and what I just said before, so that you can hear the way they pronounce it, or slowing the song down so you have an idea as to how the tempo goes, how the person that is singing it, and what you need to pronounce correctly. Again, thank you guys for supporting me. I'm really surprised by all of the comments. Like they're so helpful at work. Like I'm so stressed at work all the time, so they're really the nicest things. And thanks, and I'll have the requests, and I really hope so by the end of this year, and I really need to buy the mic today because I keep forgetting because of work. But yeah, thank you.